That's lovely.
And then also I had some about mental health, which is it's really scary out there with anxiety, but oh, wrong screen. Hi, everybody. Alida Hernandez here, Rebooted Mindset. Soon, I want you to get used to Alida Rebooted because everybody knows my name, right? Alida. And that's not too many people out there that don't even say my name right sometimes. So, Rebooted Mindset is going to become Alida Rebooted. So that way it's so much easier for you to remember. And that way people don't keep using my name because everybody's thrown mindset into their mix now. So I mean, mindset is very important, but everybody has the same name. It doesn't work. So it wasn't there before I started. Anyway, today, episode 75. I can't believe it's 75. I have a special guest, Gustava Barney. And we're going to discuss weight loss drugs versus mindset. So you must be wondering what that is. So what we're talking about is I've done some research and have some experience with some of these medications that are on the market. And what I've been discovering, everybody's made this fad now of getting Ozempic or this other one, which Wegovy or something. I don't even know how to say it. So excuse my pronunciations. But there are a couple of medications out there that are claiming and they're marketing as weight loss drugs, like the quick fix, like give yourself a shot once a week and boom, you're going to wake up and look gorgeous. It's like I forgot the movie. Oh, the movie. I think it was Bruce Almighty when he said every time he thought of something. Oh, I want this, right? Because he was God. So his woman wakes up. His wife. He had a wife, and she wakes up in the morning. She's like, "Honey, do my boobs look bigger? Because I don't know what happened. Like they look really good. I don't know what happened." Because he wished it and he brought it to life. So she went to sleep and woke up with like great boobs. So the reason I say that is because you can't inject yourself once a week and think you're going to go to sleep and wake up and, oh, there we go. I look gorgeous. It's not happening. There's nothing quick about it. It's the same way it took you a while to gain it. Actually, I think you gain weight faster than you lose it. Because I know that it took me years to get out of the mindset that I couldn't lose weight because I kept saying, I can't lose weight. I can't lose weight. Don't say that out of your mouth because guess what? That's what's going to happen. You're not going to be able to lose weight because your mind is already programming itself to say that, right? To constantly be like, oh, you say I can't lose weight, so I'm not going to lose weight. I might as well hold on to it. So you're like, but I'm working out 3 hours a day. How come I'm not losing an ounce? Because you said already that you're not going to lose it. So you're not going to lose it. So the mind is a very powerful thing. And when Gus comes on, he will really discuss that. Before he comes in, I just want to show, show a slideshow that I have here. And I just want to show you a couple of things that I found. Let me go back. Sorry, I was viewing it before. So let me go back to me while I change my slide. And I'm just going to talk about a couple of the top 5 medications that I found out there. So currently, top 5 weight loss injections are Ozempic or Wegovy, I think as you say it. There's 5 different ones. I'm very bad with pronunciation. One is Sakandal, one is Monjaro. You've heard the Monjaro commercials. Contravi, and something with QS, something MIA. Anyway, so these are just a couple of the medications that I found right now currently on the market for weight loss. Now, when in that research on these 5 different ones, let me just go back. These are the side effects. There's a lot of side effects, but Ozempic, for example, who has this chemical, semaglutide, and I don't know if I said it right, but it was close. It's a prescription injection used for type 2 diabetes in adults. Okay, its conjunction with diet and exercise can improve your blood sugars and reduce heart risk, stroke, and so on. Okay. Ozempic can also be used for patients who are unable to take metformin, which is another medication that is terrible. And I talk from experience, and I just want to say that before I even go more. I used to be, and I say I used to be a type 2 diabetic. And when I get my blood work this week, we will prove that. But I refuse to say that I'm diabetic. I'm not diabetic. I'm done. Okay. I have been working on it. I took an incredible elixir, which Gus can talk about it, that I got some of his products that he has. He has some incredible products out there, healthy products that I took for 3 months. And it was, let me tell you, he made it taste as good as it could be because it's pure herbs, right? If you go to the acupuncturist, you'll get herbs. The Chinese herbs are all ground down, so like the roots and everything they have is all ground down into powder. So it's pure medicine because all plants are medicine. Everything is medicine that's grown on the earth. And it doesn't taste good. So with the Chinese acupuncturist, what I used to do is I used to make a little sandwich with applesauce, and because they used to give me the powder, so I would put a layer of applesauce, a little scoop of the powder, and put another layer of applesauce, and then swallow it, so I wouldn't taste the medicine. So Gus made this concoction, I call it, right? There's all these incredible things that he has in there that that he made it like a mint flavor, and it was rough. I tell you right now, 3 months, right? It was like 3 months. I was taking this every single day. I missed one or two around there, because I forget. And I go, did I take it? And then sometimes then I would take two sometimes. So, but it was rough. But you know what? It's for my health. So I tell people, if it's for your health, you want to live longer. Okay. I mean, I'm 59 years old right now. And I'm going to be 60 years old in February and proud of it because I made it. I don't know about you guys, but I've had rough patches in my life that sometimes I didn't even think I was making it to 40, let alone 60. Okay. So, and I'm just telling you that anything is possible. I have to really come up with some pictures. I have some pictures of myself like 10 years ago. I don't even look the same. I don't look the same. I lost a lot of weight. I was up to like 220 pounds. Okay. You know, and I'm like, oh, no, I'm not fat. I'm just chunky, as they used to say that. No, I was so unhealthy. I was eating whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted chocolate, ice cream, drinking, whatever, cake, donuts, all this stuff, whatever I wanted to eat. I didn't care. I just ate it. I was going through a lot of emotional stuff like divorce and getting into the dating scene back then, and it was rough. And you a lot of people find comfort in food, and that is the issue. Food gives you the sensation, there's serotonins, right, in your brain of pleasure. So you'll have something like, oh, this ice cream is so decadent. That's why they call it food porn, right? Because there are foods out there because they put so much stuff in it. Now, there are food you can make. I cook really well and I don't put chemicals in my foods. I put all natural stuff and it tastes really good. Right now, I'm sitting here. I have to tell you this. I cooked dinner. I have not eaten because I was kind of rushing around doing everything. And I left the dinner for my family, and I can smell my roast chicken. Okay, and it's like I just want to finish to go eat. No, but I can smell the roast chicken. So those are good smells and good way to eat. But when you start mixing the sugar content on food, and I did a whole thing on sugar that people don't understand. The sugar kills you. I saw this doctor that he said sugar in the brain for a child is ADHD. He said sugar in the brain for an adult is called dementia. He said sugar in the blood is called diabetes. He said sugar in the heart cause heart disease. Like everything was associated with sugar. So you have excess sugar in your body. It's causing all these problems. And then the when Western medicine here they talk about medications because they believe that with treatment of medication they can treat a disease, but they don't never claim to heal the disease. They say it's a treatment of disease with medications and things like that. And you can look this up. That's what it says. So there's a difference between treating a disease and healing a disease. So being obsessed with food, being overweight in our society. It's very easy to eat fast food when you're rushing in this world. But once you change your mind, your attitude, everything about food, then it's a whole different ball game. You know, it's a whole different way you look at food. I don't look at food like that anymore. I pass fast food restaurants. I don't even know there's any in the neighborhood because I don't go to them. And me, fast food is going to maybe like we have a lot of Cuban places, and even there, when I go there, they're like trying to give you this mound of rice and all this. I'm like, no, I just want a little bit. And the woman was arguing with me, saying, "But it's this if the same amount if I give you a little or a lot, it's the same price." And I go, "It doesn't matter. I'm not going to eat it. So keep it. It's all right. Give it to somebody else. Give it to free for the next person." But so I wanted to say that I went through, so I was saying I was diabetic when I was about 40. They told me I was diabetic. And I had they put me on this medicine called Byetta because I could never take metformin. It ripped my stomach up and I was very, very sick. So what I did was they gave me this medicine called Byetta, which is like an Ozempic, okay? And basically it helps the production of insulin if you're not getting enough production, so it stimulates the pancreas and to release insulin so your sugars won't go up, and then in turn it was trying to help you crave your appetite and everything else. That's what these drugs try to do, so you don't eat, so which is not good either. So now you're on a drug that is suppressing your appetite, and then when you do it, you're probably not eating the right thing because you don't know what to eat. So that's like a twofold issue, right? Um, the other thing was I just wanted to talk. So I just wanted to tell you, if you look up Ozempic, for example, it says online with the manufacturer that it is for type 2 diabetes. Now the other one, the what is it? WEG OV. Ovi, yeah, Wegovy. It's the same kind of chemical is in the Ozempic, but there's more of it. So now that one they say is a prescription injectable medication for adults with obesity and excessive weight who have weight related health problems. Okay? This FDA approved this for weight loss over time. Now, even what this says, it's saying this is for people who are obese and have excessive weight that are causing health related issues. Now, the people who are getting this medication right now don't have that. The people like you and me that, oh, I want to lose 20 pounds. And they're injecting themselves with this medication and they have no idea what they're doing to their bodies. Why would you want to put chemicals in your body if you don't need it? Even if, when I supposedly needed it, I didn't want it because it was so bad. I got pancreatitis, and now it talks about here. It talks about when I looked it up, they talked about the side effects, and it says here, now I don't know if you can see my screen, it might be too small, but it says here it causes nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, constipation, decreased appetite, headache, fatigue, pancreatitis, rare but serious. So now listen to this. It says rare but serious. I don't understand why they put rare because I have pancreatitis. Okay. I thought the pain that I had in my pancreas was insane. Okay. I swelled up my abdomen. Looks like my abdomen swelled up. Looked like I was like 6 months pregnant because of the inflammation that I got in my pancreas. And I told the doctor, he's like, "Oh no, you'll be fine. Ah, yeah, I'll be fine. Yeah, I got stabbing pains in my pancreas. Like I don't know where my pancreas. He's thinking I don't know where it is, right? So, and I proved it because I stopped the medication myself. I said, I'm done. I'm not taking this medication anymore. I'm off of it. That's when had met Gus and we talked, and then he helped me to get to the next stage. Now I know for my body, and I can tell you that right now I feel 200% better than I used to. I have no pain in my pancreatitis. The diarrhea that I used to get on a weekly basis is gone. I'm not getting headaches. I actually can eat and enjoy what I'm eating because before I had no desire to eat because I had no appetite. So in turn, what I was doing is losing muscle instead of fat. Okay, because your body gets confused and it goes in this fight or flight mode, and it holds on to the fat thinking you need it for later because you're starving yourself. But in turn, you're losing muscle because you're not. And then if you don't have enough protein or do anything to build muscle, that's a whole nother thing. So there's a lot of things that it causes, and if unless you're seriously need this medication, I mean, there's other ways you can resolve this. So the last thing I'm going to talk about just before I'm going to bring in Gus in a minute here. That way we can continue the conversation. So losing muscle, not fat. So let me just tell you right now. So on this screen, I looked this up as well. So what people don't understand, people dropping pounds with Ozempic are losing not only fat, but they're also losing muscle mass. That's not good. Losing muscle mass is horrendous. You cannot be losing that. This is a condition called sarcopenia, and is a risk of any rapid weight loss and is not unique to that. Studies say that the current diabetes reviews, and let me see, it is characterized by losing muscle strength and function. So you think that, oh, I'm getting this shot and it's going to help me so much, and I'm losing all this weight, and you get on the scale and you lose weight. Well, do you know muscle weighs more than fat? First of all, muscle's heavier, it's denser, plus you're losing muscle. And I know that because I did it. I took the medication for over 2 years. Okay. And for the whole time, I suffered with that medication constantly with having gastrointestinal issues and constantly pain in my pancreas. And I've lost muscle because I used to have a lot more muscle mass. So I know that's a fact. And when you lose the muscle, then you don't have strength. So, I mean, right now I'm trying to regain my muscle and go and start going to the gym and lift weights because I've lost strength in my legs. Like I try to get up from a chair sometimes after sitting here for a long time. I have a hard time getting up. I'm 59. That's not happening no more. So there's a lot of things with these weight loss medicines. You can't rely on this medication. Let's try to change our mind. Let's get Gus on now and let's talk to him because he's going to change our mindset on how we can do this. Hey Gus, how are you today?
I'm doing great, Alita. How are you?
Good, good. So you heard my
Awesome.
beginning conversation. I
Yeah.
think I did an overall, intro for everybody out there to talk about these medications. I didn't talk about like the extreme cases that people instead of using medication, then they'll have bariatric what do you say it? Um,
Bariatric surgeries.
exactly,
Right.
which is a whole nother, whew,
Whole
that's a
another
whole
thing.
nother thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
because that becomes more it's more invasive because I've seen the surgery, they cut the stomach.
They
Like
cut the stomach, and people, I mean, I've actually seen somebody in Georgia that I spent some time with them. I mean, granted, they had lost the weight, but they can no longer eat. They eat very little and they start getting sick just from eating small quantities of food. And they know that if I eat a little bit more, that they're going to get violently sick. So it's got some really negative side effects. And even over time, you could still extend that stomach And before you know it, as the time goes on, a few years, you've expanded the stomach where you can now starting to eat as much as you did, before the surgery. And
Ooh,
some people, despite the surgery, put the weight back on, you know, the
yeah,
same way that they did originally.
exactly, exactly. I just thought of something I wanted to bring up, and you've probably seen this on TV. There was a show on TV called The 600 Pound Life. I don't know if you ever saw it.
600-pound life. I think I briefly saw. The most that I saw is The Biggest Loser.
Oh, okay. Well, I saw this other program called 600 Pound Life, and I saw it out of curiosity to really understand people when they're going through this and why they weigh 500, 600 pounds, which is beyond my imagination.
Right.
So one thing that I did notice in the series, which I thought it was very sad, they're talking about they're looking at them, they're looking at their physical, right? They're like, you weigh 600 pounds, the doctor says to you, you can die tomorrow because your heart is pumping so much to keep this body going. The person can't walk. The person has high cholesterol, like through the roof. It has heart disease. I mean, so many things are going on in this person's body, and they're trying to address them. They tell them, okay, you have to go on this diet and you have to lose 50 pounds by next month. So now they get all this pressure, right? They already
Right.
have anxiety. So now they get more pressure. Oh, I can't eat now. I have to lose weight. Oh, lose weight, right? And then if they lose the weight, the doctor says, okay, I'll do the surgery, right?
Right.
And some of them address, but what reason I'm bringing this up is because they don't address the mental side of this, right? The change in your mindset, the what is causing the eating habits. When you wake up and you're a person that's already 500 pounds, and now you're at, I mean, I saw a person, I don't know, no, I can't, I just can't eat that much, but had like a dozen eggs, 2 pounds of bacon, a pot of coffee, and a container of orange juice for breakfast.
Well, you have to imagine a stomach that big is not that easy to fill,
So
So
the more you eat, the more you stuff yourself, basically, you gorge yourself. Your stomach will start stretching little by little.
correct, correct. And then, you're going to have a larger and larger appetite. I mean, it isn't just boredom and you eat, because a lot of people are eating from boredom. A lot of people are eating from stress, you know,
Mhm.
anxiety, all of these things. If
Mhm.
there's not enough money coming in, they get nervous, they eat to try to, please themselves, to calm their
Right.
nerves down. All of these things are, manipulations that we use to try to, kind of balance ourselves out emotionally. But I mean, this is, heavy. This is heavy what we do to ourselves, and it really starts at an early age. I mean,
Mhm.
nobody starts 500 pounds, 300 pounds, or anything like that. We all start anywhere from 6.5 to maybe 12 pounds. But I
Right.
mean,
Right.
I don't know of anybody. Truthfully, I don't know anybody that started with 40 pounds. They were born 40 pounds.
No,
God
no,
forbid. You know?
no. My
Mm,
my nephew was a large baby. He was almost 12 pounds.
okay,
So he had to go
that's big.
C-section. That's big.
That's
That's,
big.
that the average baby is born at 7 pounds. I think the average
Right.
is like 7.
Yeah,
So,
so that's the starting point. But then what happens is unconsciously we start getting information in there that whether it's at that point or at a later date starts to materialize in us. In my case, okay, my mother said, there's starving kids in Africa. I was a skinny kid like this, and I was told, well, you got to eat everything on your plate, and you're not leaving the dining room table. I'd be in there for sometimes for a couple of hours. That starts getting it, into your subconscious. So now, I'm running a business, I'm under stress, I'm this, that. I take people out to dinner. I'm thinking I take them out to dinner to like a Brazilian buffet steak, a nice Brazilian place.
right.
It's all you can eat. And now I have this in my mind. You got to finish everything on your plate.
Oh my
Okay?
God.
So what happens? I finish everything on that plate, and then four other plates that I get after that, I finish all that stuff as well. And that's
Ooh,
the programming that we start having. And everybody's got different programming, and that's the programming that we have to deal with in our subconscious mind that was brought in by our unconscious mind. Hey,
right.
my mother brought that in. I mean, and I was a small child, like a sponge, taking in that information through my
Yeah.
subconscious.
Hmm.
And hey, listen, I was not conscious that I had to stop. I had to put a boundary there and say, nah, I can't let this stuff come in because that's the stuff that can hurt me now and even hurt me more so later. And that's what we have done in different ways.
Yeah.
Somebody else that we could say, you can't have that other slice of pizza. You're getting a little too chubby. And now that's internalized. My mother said, or my father said, I can't have that slice of pizza. You know what? You say, now forget about it. I'm just going to eat the whole pie. And that's how it goes.
Or you could go the
That's,
opposite. Then you can get to become anorexic. Then you got
well,
the
yeah,
other side of it that is so
that happens
disgusting
true.
that they can't keep anything in them
That
because
happens true. So you have another mental disorder. But
right.
that's not the most common thing. We have overweight in America is
Oh,
now 79, 80% of the population. You're either overweight or you're beyond that, and that's obese. And it's, still there's a significant part of the population that's obese. And that's going to hurt your heart. I mean, that's going to do all kinds of things. I mean, I have friends that the mother passed away, the daughter passed away, the other daughter passed away. It's all obesity. And they weren't terribly obese. Yeah, the mother was a little bit big, but she did make it to 70. But the daughters, one was 43 and one was, I think, in her early 50s.
what's
And
that?
that's not the way it should go. That's not the
No.
way it should go.
Well, that was
So,
one thing that okay, when they doctor told me you're diabetic, it was just like, okay, now what do I do? Right? And I was like in my 40s and I really didn't take it seriously. I don't think many of us take it seriously when you get diagnosed with something
right.
because it's become, oh, everybody's diabetic, or everybody has high blood pressure, or everybody has this, right? So you're like, it's no big deal, I let it go for a little while, and you know what happens. So what happened was then I started gaining weight. Your body starts changing, the sugars up and down. I would get hypoglycemic. So that's how I started learning that I was becoming diabetic. Now, instead of having high sugars, my sugars were dropping because I would go all day without eating. And then when I ate, they peaked up. Okay. So you get that high, but it's not good for your body to be up and down the numbers. And people might not understand that, but they say that at 500, if your blood sugar is at 500, it already starts eating at your organs.
Yeah. No, it's
Okay.
horrible.
So the excessive sugar in your body starts breaking down your different organs, and unfortunately, JC, cousin died at 46 years old because he gave up. He was heartbroken. He just gave up on his life, and his diabetes was very bad, and he didn't take his medicine. When he passed away, I found his medicines there. Like he was done. His kidneys went, kidney failure completely, liver gone,
Right.
spleen gone, all his organs died. You would see him, he was like a 6'2", big, not fat, muscular guy. He looked fine from the outside, but he just didn't care. He ate McDonald's, drank Pepsi, whatever. He just ate Kentucky Fried Chicken, all the fast foods.
Oh, yeah, yeah, no question.
Yeah,
No
he just didn't
question.
take care of himself. So people don't understand. It starts eating your organs, and he was having kidney. He always needed dialysis already. I mean, it's
Right.
really sad, and so that's why I'm trying to like wake up, people.
Yeah,
Why?
wake up, people. And, I mean, since nobody's helping us, we have to help ourselves. We have
Right.
to cross-reference information. We have to obtain the right information. We have to ask from the right source. Okay, because too many people go to the doctor, they got a white coat. The doctor knows, I don't know. They actually give their power away immediately. And what does that mean? The doctor has been trained in a certain way by the pharmaceuticals, and I'm going to tell you that it's all wrong. I'm not saying that it's all wrong, but some of it is not kosher, and this is, could be found on the other side, which is alternative health, holistic health. And it's not looked upon because you're only seeing one side of the equation. So, you have you're working with a doctor that has limited knowledge because he hasn't expanded himself beyond what he learned in medical school. And that's a danger because there is other stuff available. I mean, I've traveled all over South America and I have found a German Swiss company that that has their stuff in a third world nation. Basically, they have their homeopathic stem cells, plant and animal-based stem cells. This stuff works fantastic. Now, what happens? Can they get this stuff over here? No. It's a complicated issue, and I understand that there's powers that be that don't want this stuff here because sick care makes a ton of money. Okay, so this is why we have to be conscious. We have to be up here and say, okay, is this actually good for me, or is this going to do me harm? I have to be able to separate the good from the bad because at the end of the day, is I'm with me 24/7, and nobody else is with me 24/7. So I better do the right job for me. The doctor's certainly not with me for 24/7. He might be with me for 15, 20 minutes, and then he's throwing me out because he's got to see 29, he's got to turn over 29, 30 patients so that he makes his day, whether he's a corporate lawyer, a corporate doctor or otherwise, because,
Right.
This is the way it works. This is our
Right.
system.
Right. And then the thing, this, there's so many things. The medicines, like I said, so like I personally don't like medication, right? But some people take them or they start weaning off some of it and changing their lifestyle. Like, I'll give you an example. My JC's aunt was overweight. She had several mini strokes in the past. She was close to, she could have a heart attack. Her blood pressure was really high, like 200 over 100 or something ridiculous that she could just have a heart attack and go. So she could barely walk, her knees hurt, she was because she's carrying all that weight. So she's been with us 4 years and I've helped her with her eating habits. She's down to, I think she was like 250. She's 165 now.
That's fantastic.
So, and she's kept it off. I don't know, she lost so many dress sizes. I mean, she was like a 24, now she's like a 16 or eight,
Yeah.
I mean, she's like lost. So she's lost fat, I tell her to do exercise. So she walks a little, so she's probably lost some muscle, but at least she's getting healthier. And the biggest important thing is she's on no medication.
Yeah,
Pretty simple.
that's important. If you can live without medication, if you can take herbs and other stuff, but again, you have to know to take the right stuff. There's stuff that's been irradiated that is actually not healthy for you. We are dealing with a lot of chemicals in our foods and so forth and so on. And that's why
Mm,
people say, well, I'm in America and I'm eating the same diet. Now I'm in South America, I'm eating the same diet and I'm actually losing weight there, but I'm not losing weight in America. I'm actually gaining weight. And that's because the food is different. So we have to be careful. Like
mm,
nowadays, I remember 50 years ago, okay, you get your meat, you get your food, everything made in America is great. Okay, wonderful. Today, with the GMOs and everything that's in there, you don't even know what's what. And all of a sudden, you're saying to myself, I better buy this grass-fed Uruguayan beef, or I better buy this Brazilian or this Argentinian grass-fed beef. It is probably got many less contaminants since it's going
mm,
out there and it's growing on the feeds. It's
in the
pasture
field.
fed. And it's not, pasture fed, then goes to a feedlot to be fattened up. And who knows what we're really getting is kind of a mix. And then you don't have the right omega 3s and omega 6 ratios, and you don't have the nutrients. People really don't know, but meat's has tremendous nutrition, tremendous, done right. I mean, not the kind of stuff that we're accustomed to
Yeah,
eating, where
everything is
it's a
mass.
stressed out animal that's full of who knows what,
That's the
and
problem. That's the problem here. And I mentioned it before that growing for my family in Puerto Rico, okay, and you're from Argentina, so you talk about that. And in Puerto Rico, everything was organic before
correct,
anybody talked about organic. Like
correct,
we didn't know it was organic. We knew it was fresh. My grandmother
correct,
would go to the backyard. You want a potato? Go get it. You want an egg? Go
correct,
get some. You want a chicken? Get
correct.
that too. Like everything came from the backyard, and it was food tasted different. There wasn't the weight. When I was a little girl, and probably you, but when I was little, I was always thin. Like
Me
I
too. I was thin all my life.
all my life until I got pregnant. That your body changes, and I was eating and eating and changed my body composition. Different things, but I was thin all most of my life. Now I'm sad to see these young children right now. They're young kids in school that are overweight, and they're making them these children take these medications.
Oh
Oh, you're
yeah,
overweight, take this medication. Now these poor children are 12 years old, and they're giving them this Ozempic, or go, they're pre-diabetic. They got to take this.
right.
I mean, pre-diabetic, it really means, hey,
You're on your way. You're diabetic. You're just about there.
you
Now,
need to warning. It's a warning. I say it's a
it's a
warning.
big warning, and you can reverse it at that point. And if you don't reverse it, statistics show type 2 diabetes, you lose 10 years of life expansion. Your life expectancy is lost by 10 years. That's why I say to you, come on, stay on the product so we can make sure you test, you go to the doctor and you
Right,
test diabetes free.
right.
In type 1 diabetics, okay, that's 20 years that they lose. So they have to be extra careful to try to reverse it. And there is ways of reversing it. There is ways of even reversing type 1 diabetes. There is ways to activate your pancreas, but people don't look in that direction. They accept what's been told to them. The doctor says, hey, listen, this is something you're going to have to deal for the rest of your life, so deal with it. Or, this is the doctor says you're like this because you're too fat, or you're like this because you're too old. When they don't have an answer, they start throwing things. They look at you and they start throwing things because they haven't worked out the answer. They're not functional medicine doctors. And if we're going to people that are not functional medicine doctors and we're putting our hands on these people, we're at risk. We're really at risk. They're stated that the medical profession, okay, Western medicine is the third leading cause of death behind heart disease and cancer. So, I mean, what does that mean? I mean, where is the death coming from? What is, all of these things happening that they're not helping to take care of our bodies in a natural way? Because nature, that's what God gave us. God gave us the capability of recovery. You cut yourself, you cut your hand right down here. You wait a little while, a scab grows through here, the scab peels off,
Yeah,
and you're done. You've
yeah,
healed. It's
yeah.
called self-healing. That's why when I create products, what have I done now? I've created a product for weight loss. Okay? It's called intracellular burn. Now, can that solve all the problems? Absolutely not, because we still have this going on. What it does is for 4 or 5 hours, it knocks out the simple carbohydrate cravings and the fat cravings. So, if you take this product twice a day, 8 to 10 hours of, you know, uh, controlling your head where it's going, okay, you're bored, you want to eat, it's not going to help you to eat. It's gonna help, reduce the capability of eating. You've got ghrelin, and you got all of these things that tell your brain you're never full and stuff like that. It helps with all of that. But is it a complete answer to this? Absolutely not. Why? Because we still have the sabotage inside of our subconscious mind that is already been displayed from the unconscious mind prior in early life. We've been
Yep.
told, you know, you are fat or you're this. If your mother said, your father said, pull up a couple of chairs and sit down, they're already telling you how fat you are. So now that's, you're internalizing them. Or you're tons of fun. You know what I mean? Kids tease each other. Hey, tons of fun, this and that. And, that starts to stick into your mind, and it goes into the subconscious, your hard drive. Now it becomes a part of you that has to be pulled out.
Yeah.
It has to be rendered harmless, because otherwise it's doing harm while it's still in there. There's always the possibility of relapse. So we do want to change a lifestyle. I mean, it happened to me. I mean, I just recently says, well, I have to test a weight loss, but I've lost too much weight. So I said, okay, let me just relax my diet. Before you know it, I'm eating pasta, I'm eating calzones, I'm making food stuff. Hey, listen, I have sabotaged the living crap out of myself
It
and
was
then start
good.
gaining. I'm saying, holy cow, here I'm supposed to be doing something else and teaching this. And yet, because I said I'm going to gain a couple of pounds because I'm too thin, you relax, and then before it was like a free for all, and that doesn't work. So
Yeah,
we do have to take stuff out.
it's like I say I crave once in a while I crave chocolate chip cookies, right?
Mhm.
So, and it's just the sugar. I know I'm craving the sugar for whatever reason.
Correct.
What going through some stress or whatever it is, I'll make cookies. And then I'm like, oh, I'll make my own cookies. It won't be so bad. Make oatmeal chocolate chip cookies.
Right.
So I add some oatmeal in there. I try to add something healthy to it. But still, I don't need that. I don't need the sugar. I find that it's taken me a long time to really not crave the sugar like I used to or the chocolate.
Right. Well, I will tell you this. I met a chef at one of these holistic shows because we're doing, different type of work. I was with this woman, Sylvina, and I met, a young woman that has been, cooking and baking holistically. I mean, she was like nobody's business. Her food was unbelievable. Everybody was buying stuff, and
Mhm.
everything there was healthy. So everything that you could do was sugar. You could do with other stuff to make it taste very good. Granted, she put a lot of years into perfecting her trade, but
Right.
certainly, in the future, we can bring her into a show and she can, say, okay, this is how you can do things. These are the recipes and so forth and so on. And you could start, yeah, it's a little more work, but it's well worth it
Oh
because
yeah.
your health depends on all of this stuff.
That's what I
You
tell
know?
people. I don't understand how difficult it is that if you have if you're going through something, look at different solutions. Just don't depend on going to the medical doctor. People go, "Oh, well the doctor said." Well, that's great. Is it right or wrong? I mean,
Right.
just because he said it, that's what he's trained to do, like you said. But there's alternatives, and people have to be. We have so many resources now. Everybody has a cell phone, everybody has some computer. Somehow or
Correct.
another, you can access information at the library for free if you don't have a computer or a phone. So, that's a good hint for people out there. But do your research. It's
You
so
you have to,
important.
and you got to cross reference it and look as many. Don't just get fed information because yes, we have television and it's television, but it's tell their vision, and everybody's attempting to manipulate you one way or the other. I mean, look at politics. One on the left manipulates you one way, the other one on the right manipulates you the other way. I mean, usually one side will never speak bad about their side, and the other side again will do the same and not speak bad about their side. That tells you something. You can't get impartiality. If that's why hey, listen, go to Rumble, go to YouTube, find your news somewhere else. I mean, anything anywhere else, because I mean, you don't want to become a sheep and be fed information this way. And in the medical field, it's no different. Don't be a sheep. You look at your doctor and you say, okay, can this people, I look at them physically and see, can this person tell me something health wise? Okay.
Oh
My
my,
father's cardiologist in the emergency room, look, he weighed somewhere between 350, 400 pounds, and I'm hearing him giving my father some health advice. I'm saying, holy cow, this is not to be believed. I
well, yeah,
can't even believe this is happening.
I
You're
have to
not example. If you're not a physical example, for the love of God, don't say a word because you didn't live it. You didn't do it. You don't know it. Okay. Prove it to yourself first. Then,
that's why,
okay, say
exactly.
something.
Exactly. So you've gone through things. You're an example. I'm an example too. I've kept my weight loss off now. And before I couldn't keep 5 pounds off. I've kept
Right.
off set. I've lost 75 pounds, and over the course of
Exactly.
the last 4 years, and I've kept it off. And people see me, wow, you look so different, you look good. My skin looks, I mean, I feel like I look younger now
Of
because I've
course.
lost the weight, lost, the fat, and it takes a long time. Like I still have belly fat, but you know why? Because I'm not doing crunches and I'm not working out. So it's just not going to go away. You can't
Right.
there are people out there one quick fix. They'll have
There's no
plastic
such thing.
surgery. No, there's no such thing because, for
There's no
example,
such thing.
if you
And
get
and
I'm sorry, if you get any physical work done, like you get like a boob job or tummy tuck or your butt, you know what? It's so bad for you. You got chemicals, pieces of chemicals inside of you. If they bust, okay, now they use saline, but before they used to use silicone, right? And then people were getting silicone leaking, and the people were getting diseases
right.
and all the stuff, and the deformity of the breasts, and I mean, it's scary.
Well, yes. I mean, I actually, have somebody that I worked for in the past that actually worked for a plastic surgeon that would do implants, would do breast implants,
Right.
and they would do, also explants. They got to the point where they said, okay, there's like 37 toxins that are produced by the breast implants. So they stopped doing implants, and the only thing that they do today is explant surgeries. So
Wow.
this guy is one of the world leading authorities on this. He's actually able to tie you up and give you a more formed breast as you have the explants taken out. So your breasts are more perky. But I mean, they just don't do them anymore. And there's reasons for them. I mean, granted, aesthetically, women could look very pleasing, but nonetheless, you got to look at the long haul. And if you are chronically fatigued and if you have issues, depression and other stuff going on, you might want to see that, hey, listen, this is maybe the problem. So, what we do to ourselves. I also know somebody. I was just at a show where a friend of mine, Dr. Hotchner, was there. And one of the people that I saw, used to have a butt implant. Eventually she had to, it was so bad for her, she had to take them off. And when you're down there, some Latin women believe that the bigger the butt, the better, that the guys are going to look at them
I
more and this and that. And the butt is 3 blocks away from where you are. And,
know.
hell, I don't know that looks that good, you know.
No, it doesn't. I've seen
It-
that. I've seen it many times. But again, it's talking about chemicals in your body, and I
Correct.
wanted to do mention too our food. So we have a different food is done differently here in America. Everything's mass produced. If you go to a store, if you go to less expensive supermarkets, without saying names, that the quality of food starts going down. I don't know if people realize that the quality of food goes down. And if you go into the poor neighborhoods that have the cheapest supermarkets in there, when you walk in, because I've been in them to see what it was, there's aisles and aisles of processed food in boxes with high content of sugar and salt. They sell frozen food dinners that are $1, right? Cheap stuff that is all chemicals, Like it's supposed to be like Salisbury steak, right? You're lucky if there's anything that's beef in there.
Right,
Okay, you know, and
right.
and the thing is, it's really sad because they're producing all these foods, and there's really, even though we're supposed to have a regulation, FDA and all that stuff. I'm sorry, I personally, my opinion is they should be have a stricter guidelines on food, that they shouldn't allow all these chemicals in our foods.
The thing is this, the farmers are subsidized for this cheap food. This is the problem that we have. So what happens is this, we take this cheap food, we give
Mhm.
the farmers billions of dollars to farm this stuff. This is why, just recently I heard that farmers, like in potatoes that is so bad, they actually take up little plot of land and they grow their own potatoes for their families, and they will not give their families what they put out there, that it ends up in the supermarkets because they're so toxic.
Mhm.
Uh, and
Oh
then,
my God.
I'll tell you from firsthand experience because I've been in the manufacturing field. And I was told, okay, by a pharmaceutical company had asked me, can you make a tranquilizer, in the feed so that we can give it to the chickens so we can bring them from one location to the next and they don't die. Not so
Oh,
many of them die. And you want to know why they die? You have
why?
any idea? Because they're crammed in together in such a small small space. They're just crowded in like crazy, and they're carried out. It's just like they're crowded more than a
They have
sardine is in
anxiety
a
attacks.
can.
These chickens
And
are
the
having
sh-
heart attacks
and,
in there.
yeah, and the stress that the animal has ends up killing them. A lot of them. So that's what they wanted to prevent. Now you're eating that energy. We're all energy beings, okay? So what are you eating? That energy of that animal
Oh
that
God.
has suffered so much, during the point that they died, and and even the animals that made it alive without, too much of a problem, they're still extremely distressed, and you're eventually eating that animal as well. It's all that stuff. That's why people say, okay, let's pray through our food. Let's see if we can,
To make
calm
sure
the
it doesn't kill you
energy.
while you
Let's thank God for the animal that was sacrificed, the
right.
souls of the animal that sacrificed so that we could eat. All of that stuff. But nonetheless, you can't minimize this stuff. This is what goes on. This is what goes on, and it should not go on. We're not, we're not us as a consumer should not be consuming this kind of stuff. Okay,
Right.
it's making us sicker. How could we have the most expensive healthcare system in the world and yet be among the sickest people on the planet? That should not, they shouldn't work together. You spend more money, you should be healthier. You spend more money, you're more unhealthy. It should be going like this: more money, less health, more money, less health.
Yeah.
It's something is really, really wrong with our system, and it's done on purpose. It's a
Yeah.
manipulation of the money, taking the money from here, giving it to these people, taking it from there. The guy that has the greatest lobbying power has the most say, and that's the
Yeah.
system that we live in, and that's a dangerous system
Yeah.
because
And
we
that's
need to be able to eat well. We need
eat
to have good
well.
food.
We need to be able to make decisions and not be, like you said, a sheep. You have your own
Yeah,
mind. You're a one of a kind person. Everybody out there is a one of a kind. So
correct,
you need to be able to, you have a mind that makes choices. So you have to make the choices for yourself. Like you
correct,
do everything else. You buy a car, you want it white with black seats or whatever it is. Go choose your foods. You need to
exactly,
learn how to choose your
exactly.
foods. And it takes a learning curve. But you know what? Once you start getting used to it, I don't have an issue going out, in the sense like if I go out to eat, like I'll know. JC and I usually will go to Greek food, because Greek food, we get hummus, we get some fresh food. I try to avoid the
Right.
fried stuff. I get like a grilled chicken or Greek salad. You know what I mean? Get some hummus. I mean, there's so many things you can get that is healthy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's choosing. Unfortunately, the choices out there don't help us, because there are more unhealthy choices than you have healthy choices.
Many more, many more. Mediterranean food is good. I mean, start looking at, anybody that says, take this product, you don't have to exercise, you don't got to change your diet, you don't have to do anything. That's bad news. That's bad news because what happens is this, you won't age the same way. Okay, why do men in Sardinia, why do they have in Sardinia, Italy, the highest rate of men over the age of 100? You have any idea what that reason is? Okay, because they have mountains. Their muscles they're always exercising on the way up, on the way down. This thing here in Florida, as flat as can be, it's not the easiest thing to do,
You have to climb the garbage mountain.
Yeah, you got to go to the dump, which is the
No,
only
that's
mountain
the
that
only
I
mountain.
know. You're
Yeah,
right.
that's the only mountain we got.
The only mountain we have, and it probably doesn't smell all that good.
It's the same thing, like probably in Argentina, you have that they live in the countryside. Like in Puerto Rico, there are people in Puerto Rico that live 115. Like they live a long
Correct.
time. Like, I mean,
Correct.
there's people up there still today, okay, that they live off the land. There, I mean, Puerto Rico, the soil is really rich and you can grow anything pretty much. You can survive. There's always animals. You can get an animal, have more animals and calves and, cows, chickens, whatever, pigs, and survive. I mean, you can really survive
No
the
doubt.
land. So, it's just a difference. That's one of the reasons why I moved to a house that had some land. So right now I have my herbs growing. It's a whole learning curve right now. I need to find out how to plant certain things and when. But
Right.
anyway, but I want to go into, because I don't want, we've been on here for a little while, but I really want to go into just talk a little bit about the 9 steps to a healthy mind that we've been talking
Okay.
about for a while, and how this can, help people out there that are struggling with weight, with health issues, are going through this stuff. They're going through these medications, or they have the bariatric surgery, and how can we help these people out there?
Okay. 9 Steps to a Healthy Mind was designed to find the blind spot in the subconscious mind. Okay. That blind spot in the subconscious mind reverberates and does things on automatic pilot, okay, that we're not necessarily completely aware of. At least the majority of us are not aware of, but we have to pay attention to it. That doesn't mean you're going to overcome it, but at least, become aware of it. But it has to be eradicated, it has to be pulled because otherwise it's functional. It's a functional energy that whenever you get stressed or something happened, it's going to jumpstart the negative process. Okay. It's going
Mhm.
to bring the poison out. And there where, people have all kinds of relapses, all kinds of issues, because that's never been taken care of. And that was brought into the subconscious by the unconscious mind, which is different than the conscious mind. The conscious mind is aware. It's a mind that says, okay, discriminates, basically says, oh, you know what, this doesn't look to be correct. Let me take a look a little bit further and see what this is about. Where the unconscious mind is just something that's fed to you, you take it wholeheartedly as truth, and it be very far from the truth, and now you process it into your subconscious mind, which is your hard drive, and now that's on, automatic pilot. That is something that is part of you, and you don't want to make that poison your best friend, because that's what's going to create the dysfunction. And that
So,
dysfunction is where, hey, listen, we can't lose the weight. We can't, we're emotionally tied to this, that, or the other thing. I mean, right now, I do the best that I can to detach from anything. I spilled on myself. I said, oh man, I ruined this thing, and I'm getting pissed off. But you know what? Immediately I become aware it's just a little accident. It's not a big deal. Let's not make a big thing out of it. Let me not shoot up cortisol levels. Let me not create that brain chemistry that's going to do me harm. So I immediately switch that off so that I'm not doing myself harm. And this is where, we have to be consciously involved so that we can have an effect on that subconscious mind. Because otherwise, the effect is the opposite. It's the trained behavior, the automatic behavior, everything that has been taught to us that was wrong. Because I hate to say this, you get information from your mother, your father, your teachers, your brothers, your sisters, whomever, and not all that information is right or right for you. And
Exactly.
therefore, now you absorb it. I mean, you could see all the prejudices. I mean, sometimes I sound like my mother. I said, "Oh, I got this from somewhere."
Yeah,
you
you
know,
all of a sudden you're
this
saying
kind of
something that like,
judgments. Where did this come from? But that's where it is. So you
yeah.
try to break that. I'm no longer judgmental. I'm just highly opinionated. You know.
Yeah,
But
there's things I picked up from them. I was thinking of something while you were talking because I had a habit and from the past that wasn't a good habit. So anytime I was be stressed or whatever, I get glass of wine. Okay. And what happened is you start with a glass of wine, but you end up drinking the whole bottle.
oh,
So
absolutely,
in
absolutely.
turn, now you put your emotion, your whatever level of emotion you at right now. I'm not happy with myself right now. I need to wind down. Let me go grab a glass of wine. This make me feel
Correct.
better because you're already
Correct.
conditioned. You're already trained. The same, I
Your
think.
condition.
Right.
Your
So
condition.
these habits happen with food, would happen with alcohol, anything basically that's
Right.
it's
That false artificial intelligence, okay, puts us into automatic pilot and has us responding in a certain way. I mean, that's all great when you're on automatic pilot and you without even knowing you lock the front door of your car of your house to get in the car and go.
right.
Sometimes you leave, you say, "Did I lock the door?" And when you come back, "Oh, I did lock the door." But
Right.
that's when you were an automatic pilot, and that's
Right.
a good thing. Okay, but when you're on automatic pilot to go to the refrigerator for the 11th time in the last 2 hours, that's not the same thing.
No, it's not. It's not. And I've had times like that. I remember in the past just getting the weirdest cravings for, like, I would bake those Pillsbury cakes. Oh my God. They're addicting. You take one little piece,
Correct.
it's so addicting. And that's another thing, that there's food chemicals in our foods. So
And,
many
and
chemicals.
and having been a manufacturer, okay, I had to tell my scientists, okay, the biochemists and the chemists and stuff like that, you got to make this taste as good as possible because that's where the repeat sales are. Okay. I mean, it came to a point where I said, okay, we're not using this chemical or that chemical. If that customer wants that, I don't want to make it for them. I can tell them to go down the block, sweep the floor, and they can put it into their product, but I'm not doing that. But what I'm trying to say is in the food business, okay, who is the winner? The chemist that can addict you the most to their food. Okay, if you keep coming back for, whatever it is, your favorite food, because that guy's done such a ridiculously good job of making their, garbage taste that good, then you're hooked and they love it because that's where the
Yeah.
profits come from. Now, if
And
the chemist is lousy and he's not doing that, and then you go in there to grab a bite of that and it tastes like cardboard, you're not going back to that and they're firing his ass.
yeah,
It's
it's
that simple.
unfortunate that sometimes stuff that is healthy for you and good, well, that's good for you, doesn't taste very good. And you have to learn how to cook with
Correct.
different things. Like quinoa, I think you say quinoa, or quinoa, I don't know how you say it. The grain, right? Quinoa? I don't know. Anyway, so when you cook it, it's bland. It doesn't taste like anything. And most of the time you go to a vegan restaurant or a healthy restaurant, they'll make it. They put nothing in it. Who wants to eat that? What
Right.
do I do? I put onions and peppers, and put vegetables
Correct.
in there, and then puts flavor, some fresh garlic, some basil. You can use all that stuff. Remember, herbs are like free food. Herbs. You can put basil,
Right.
rosemary, thyme. There's so many things you can put in your food that tastes amazing. You don't have to be putting gobs of salt or
Correct.
barbecue sauce or whatever else you throw in there, you know?
Right. No, well, that's it. People have to learn, different recipes that are healthy, but that are tasty. Nobody's going to be eating, they're going to change their lifestyle if everything that they taste is terrible.
Yeah,
So, we have to be really practical here and make sure that, we can eat something that is actually very palatable. Okay.
right,
But healthy for us at the same
right,
time,
right. Because you want
because
to enjoy
really
your meal.
palatable food, the
Right.
best tasting foods that there are on the planet, they're usually not healthy.
Right,
Okay.
exactly. So the fried chicken and the French fries and all that stuff, there's an addiction to that. The oils, everything. You
No
taste
doubt.
it. Oh my goodness, right? So people get
Right.
addicted to all the. I'm not gonna name the labels of chicken, but you guys out there, the fried chicken lovers out there. So you go out there, you go, oh, I love this chicken. This is the best one. But oh my God, you're doing so much damage to yourself,
No
and
doubt.
it's
I mean,
just
you're looking to bring cancer in there, more inflammation in the body, heart disease, and all of these things. That's one of the reasons why I was very enthusiastic about making something for sarcopenia. Okay, because as we age, I'm in that range, and I've seen my cousin. I mean, I was telling you about that earlier. My
right.
cousin was a national rugby champion. This guy
Mhm.
could, take 10 people on his back and bring them, to the goal, and unbelievable. But now he's 68 years old, and I see very narrow shoulders, nothing of what, not even a shell of what he used to be. So that the sarcopenia has attacked this guy. I mean, at one time they tried to rob him, okay, of all this money that he was taking from my uncle, and
Right.
he got shot 3 times. You
Wow.
know that he took the two robbers down and beat the daylights out of them until the police came, and then he had to go to the hospital where he had 3 bullet holes in his body. Luckily, it didn't hit any organs, but this is how physically strong this man was. But then now you see him, and he's 68 years old, and I said, I hadn't seen him in a long time, and his shoulders are narrow. You know that sarcopenia is attacking the body. Okay, so that's why, as I'm in my 60s, I'm younger than him, but nonetheless, I'm saying, okay, I got to keep myself strong, physically strong, because I still want to be vital. If God allows me to live into my 90s or 100, I'm going to be vital. My boxing coach taught boxing till he was 99 years old and died, in his 102nd year.
Wow,
So
that's awesome. I want to
that's
live to
all
102.
within. No, that's all within, and not as a decrepit old man. He, went to sleep one day and didn't get up the next. And I don't want to be on a mask, or
So
sucking air,
I know.
or doing a mask. No way do I want to be that, and no way do I want to be a burden to my kids.
That's
Okay,
the big thing. Yeah.
as I continue to get older, even though I have young kids. I mean, I had my children late, but nonetheless, I mean, that's not what I want to be, is a burden to them. And this is one of the reasons I created this product, to give the body strength, to give the body, that flexibility, to increase muscle mass, so that, I'm not walking around like an old person that's shoveling the feet, that have no confidence when they step on something. I mean, this is why old people take short steps. Why do they don't trust that their legs are going to support them? And
Right, because
that's
of the
not in the
muscle. They lost
situation
all
that we want to be. Loss of muscle, loss of strength. And this is why I said, okay, this is the time to come out with this product. And people don't need hormone replacement, because their body is actually stimulating their own hormones without something coming in from the outside.
because your
That's the
body
idea.
heals. But your body heals, and I'm always say
Your
this.
body heals.
Have to understand your body is an incredible organism that will heal itself. Like Gus said before, like the other day I burned myself on my arm, and I burned myself pretty bad on the inside of my arm, so it's really tender. So I have a little scar now, but I healed completely. It closed up and everything, and I just put a little ointment and stuff like that. And but that's why there's people out there that are so sick they can't even heal
Right.
because skin, the just I don't even know what it is, but it's just, and I tell you right now, I know my body has healed tremendously. It's been 7 years now, 7.5 years that I had the stroke. I not the same person that I was 7 years ago. I'm different weight, just mentally I'm different, emotional. I've completely changed. It's been a transformation completely because um sorry, my puppies are barking, because my life means more to me now than it did before. So
Correct.
once
We're taking responsibility for our lives, and this is what we have to do: is that you have to research your information. You can't let just things come to you, from the television, because that's all it is. It's
uh,
television, and you have to sort out information. Otherwise, you're just sheep that is brainwashed, and you become part of the sick care system. And that's not what we want to do. I have really, except for antibiotics, a couple of times in my life, I've never been on medication.
that's
And,
awesome.
and I've always taken a holistic approach. I've been overweight, I've been fat, I've been, thin, I've been this, I've been that. I mean, as soon as I got married, marriage, I call it holy matrimony. I went in there.
They say the first year of marriage, people gain like an average of 50 pounds or something.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know.
insane. I gained weight. Then my then wife got pregnant. I got more pregnant than her.
And you got the pregnant cravings too. I'll eat with
And
you.
hey, before you know it, say, "Wow, I really, put myself
Right.
away." And this is what we really need to be conscious of ourselves,
So
and we
I want
really
to
need to.
mention, I'm sorry. I wanted to mention something because my friend Tracy's online. Hi, Tracy. Also, Sandy. Hi, Sandy. JC was on there too, watching us. So I appreciate you guys, whoever's online. But so my friend Tracy Robinson, she's doing a program to motivate people. August 1st, we're going to do 7 days of fasting together. And I know, Gus, you wanted me to do this for a while. Now I have another little buddy that's going to do it. And we have a little group of women. So we're going to be accountable to each other to stick for those 7 days. And I think that'll help all of us. And so I wanted to talk to you about that. What do you think about fasting and what the importance is of doing that?
I think fasting is very, very important, but you do have to pick your times. Okay, so it doesn't become a lifestyle. I have done, okay, 88-hour fasts, which is, a little over 3.5 days. Then I've done another fast of 120 hours. I will tell you this, it will flatten your waistline, and it brings in new stem cells as it takes out some of the old, what they call zombie cells, out of your body. It clears
Mhm.
that out, but it's not intended to be used, on a continuous basis. You can use some intermittent fasting, but every so often you should, so that you can, every so many months, boom, you can do, a long fast that they can clean out, because we are holding on a ton of inflammation on our intestinal tract. But this
Mm.
is not should not be a lifestyle, but it should be something that we do from time to time to clear out, because we got stuff that's stuck in our intestinal tracts that are not clearing out, though we think we're using laxatives and we're
Right.
using colon cleanses and we're doing these enemas, and it's not all clearing out. You need just liquids for a while to, that are not really being digested the same way as a solid food, to start cleaning out that large intestine, the colon, and everything else.
Right.
It is
Right.
very good. I have found it to be very effective. But I also have a friend that, after 10 days, she started getting sick. It does become, you have to be conscious. You have to know what kind of health condition you're in before you go and attack this
Right. If you're gonna
this
do, if you
fast.
do a full fast, Tracy's telling me now. She's sending me messages that what she's doing is an intermittent fast. So she's doing an 8 hour window, so 16-hour rest.
Correct. That's
Between.
that's that's very normal in
Yeah, I
intermittent
do.
fasting.
I do pretty much. So Tracy, and people out there, I do intermittent fasting pretty much on a daily basis because I stop eating at a certain time at by 9 o'clock at night, and then I don't eat till usually about 11, 12, maybe. So I haven't even counted the hours, but I know I do that all the time. So my body's already used to that. Like I can
Right.
go all night because I'm sleeping, right? And then in the morning I'm fine. I usually drink something in the morning, have tea or something like that, but I don't have food intake, just
Right.
liquids and stuff
Well,
like
no,
that.
I'm very aware because I've done intermittent fasting for a long, long time. And it does help control weight. And of course, if you've gone to go to the gym and exercise on a fasted stomach, you are actually much faster tapping into your fat supplies than you would, if you had breakfast and, all of that has to go through that. But,
Right.
I would suggest that, weight training is important to enhance metabolism. After weight training, maybe later in the day, you can go for like a 30, 40-minute walk, an hour walk, whatever, to burn off the excess fat with the better metabolism. So you want to create that better metabolism. That's why, the idea of creating this product, intracellular test, is to enhance muscle mass, enhance metabolism, to make things easier because we want to have less fat and more muscle. That's
Exactly.
what preserves us. Even our heart is a muscle, and that
Right.
muscle to beat for 120 years, it requires some strength. And obviously, we don't want to drag a ton of fat because it's
Right.
very hard on that. Muscle has it's a force, so you can pick up muscle moves like this. But if you grab your by arm in the back of your thing, you can slap the fat around,
Oh
but
yeah,
you can't flex that fat because it's dead. It's actually dead weight. That's
right,
dead
right.
weight. It has no function where muscle has function. So that's why we want to trade off fat for muscle. We live longer. And now there's more evidence that it fights cancer in a very significant way.
Yes, yes.
So, we want to preserve muscle tissue. We want to continue to exercise. So if anybody says to you, take this product, you'll never have to exercise, they're telling you something really bad because eventually you're going to have to pay the price for that. And even
Wow.
if you manage to lose some pounds, it's not going to be quality weight. It's not going to be what you want. I mean, just going to a gym and take a look at the people that are the leanest people there that have the most amount of muscle are on this side of the gym,
Right.
okay, working on the
Good
free
weight.
weights and the machines, and the people on the treadmill all the way here, they're trying, but since they don't have much of a metabolism, they're out there pouring their hearts out, and yet you see them every time and they look
Same
exactly
weight.
the same.
Right.
Same thing. So therefore, you have to handle first metabolism, and then once the metabolism, as you get the metabolism going, okay, then get into the fat burning process, but don't do it all at the same time. Go at night and go for a walk. I mean, here in Florida, it's not easy with the humidity that we
Oh
have.
yeah, I know.
So,
So Teresa was asking again if you can explain the product that you were talking about that helps with the fat reduction. I think you said you had one to help the metabolism.
yeah, we're in the process. It took us, I mean, I kid you not, about 7 to 8 months of testing because we don't just put out a product. Once we see that the feedback is good enough and say, okay, we can suppress appetite for 4 to 5 hours, including those people that are bored, that are not working, that are just not doing, and the other people that, okay, that maybe, financially distressed, so their anxiety is causing them to eat more of the wrong foods and all of that. So we're here to cut the cravings of excess fats and excess carbohydrates, and that's what it's doing. It's going to go into production very, very soon, and I'm very excited about it. We're still going to tweak it out along the way because my job is always to, and I'm not going to say that I'm a perfectionist, but I want to do better. I want to do better, and it does not, you will lose the weight, but it's not going to take away what you got in here. Okay, so I don't want anybody to be misled. My thing is to educate without misleading. You still got to work this thing, you still got to work the brain chemistry. You still have to work the subconscious mind. That's why, we're creating classes for that to help people through that process. And then, again, you don't want to get to the point where your body fat level is so low that your hormones are also tanking. So there's a percent, most people never get there. So don't worry. That's why. But
Yeah.
that and increasing the muscle tissue because I'm very concerned about sarcopenia. And also, if I can help those athletes that, that can work without taking steroids, because then what happens to them is that they have heart disease, they've got issues with the kidneys, the liver, they get
Mm,
cancer. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff going on, and that would take another show to do that.
right, right, right. Oh yeah, there's so many complications to steroids or any chemical, right? Any foreign chemical that you're going to put in your body, this is going to cause issues. And I know you and I have talked over, last year or whatever. I told you I was having so many issues intestinally, my pancreas, and that's why I tell people I'm off all diabetes medication. I'm declaring I don't have diabetes because I don't. Okay, because I've done everything that I can. I know my body has changed, and I will continue to eat healthy and get my exercise going more and more, but I know how much my body has healed. I went
Yeah.
from I think about certain things going, I could barely walk after I had the surgery. I mean, after I had the stroke. JC had to help me with everything. If it wasn't for him, I don't know what I would have done because he was my strength, you know? And to get dressed, I couldn't lift my arm, put clothes on, do things and then have the will to keep going, right? That you can do it through the pain. So I tell people it's not easy. Nothing is ever easy, but the long run, the final product is going to be you are going to be a healthy person. You're going to be better than you were before. It helps your mind, right? You're going to have more clarity in your mind, be more focused, brain fog and all this stuff. Plus, you'll detox your body in the process of doing these different things, intermittent fasting, using Gus's product, again, reprogramming your mind. So
Mhm.
it's very important. We hold in emotions, and that causes us to eat. Oh, we're sad. We're I don't know. We're sad or any kind of emotion that gives us stress. We're like, what makes you feel better? Oh, I'll have a chocolate chip cookie, or I'll have a piece of chocolate,
And then you
or
feel guilty about it. And that creates a whole new breed
that's a
of
whole
brain
lot.
chemistry that suppresses your metabolism. It does all kinds of things. Even exercise, you have to do exercises that you go along with, that your brain chemistry is working with you. I see people doing exercises and I could see their faces. They look like they're, constipated on the toilet trying to do this exercise. And I'm saying, that's certainly not helping you. Your brain chemistry is working totally against you. You're hating this, and yet you're doing it because somebody told you you had to do it. Maybe you had a
Right.
heart condition or whatever the case is, and you got to go exercise. So you have to be good with yourself and make sure you get involved with something that's pleasing to you,
Yeah.
meaning exercises that are pleasing to you,
Yeah, that's so
not
important.
unpleasant to you, because then you have the brain chemistry working against you, and actually you're hoarding that fat instead of releasing it. The
Oh,
body should
wow.
naturally and easily releasing it.
Wow. So from the stress of doing something you don't want to do, you'll end up holding on to the fat instead of
Correct,
releasing
correct.
it. Look
I'll
at
give
that.
you an example with me. Okay. I didn't realize as a kid, as a boxer, I used to jump rope. And yeah, I had a single digit body fat level, not an ounce of fat on my body. And it was pleasant then. Then, I said, well, let me do what I used to do, and that should be fun. But I changed. Decades later, I'm a different person. So I go, okay, let me get a weighted rope and do this. It started feeling unpleasant. And you know what? And I was working at it, and the weight wasn't coming off. And that's my brain chemistry creating cortisol. Instead of, bringing me into an anabolic state, it brought me into a catabolic state and hoarding the fat instead of releasing it. Okay. So I was
Wow.
getting no results. And this is how powerful our brain chemistry is. Now,
Wow.
when I switched and I went on the bicycle, which I enjoy going outside and looking at all of nature and this and that, and did a couple of sprints here and there, I would take off the fat like this. It would just come off of me like that. So picking the wrong exercises also has a detrimental effect on your brain chemistry. Know what flows for you and what doesn't flow for you. You might want to do some dancing. That I do suggest that some form of Pilates, yoga, or,
Right.
free weights are necessary because we do have to challenge the bones, the ligaments, the tendons, and everything. We don't want these things to age and then we fracture when we fall. We don't have, what's necessary for us to be okay.
Yeah, there's just, I mean, there's a lot of things. I know people, I hope you're not confused out there. If you have any questions, my number's on the screen is 954-592-7605 is my cell number. You can text me, WhatsApp me. And sorry, JC put a comment. He goes, how about a Snickers bar once in a while? No, no. He knows, he's laughing. But no, no Snickers. It has too much sugar and so much. Oh my gosh. I
Well,
couldn't
you
even.
don't want to totally deprive yourself, but if you know that if you have that Snicker
Right.
bar and then there's 9 more that have to come behind it,
That's a
then,
problem.
hey, listen, that's not good.
Buy the little
Then
mini
you're just
one.
fixing the addiction. That's food porn.
Buy a little mini one. Those little mini ones, and then
Right.
you can get your craving done. Even though they're still too sweet, I can't do it. I buy
So
dark chocolate, like 70-80% cacao, and yeah, it's strong, but you get used to it. And I only have it if I crave chocolate, and I said, you know what, I'll just have a piece of dark chocolate. And sometimes I get them with walnuts or something, and I have one, and I'm good to go. I don't deprive myself. I just kill my little craving for the moment, and I'm good. But everybody, you can either WhatsApp me or text me. I'll put my email address here again. Also, if you need to reach us, please, Gus is available for private sessions. We're going to start we want to do a group. We would like to do it live. It's very important that we're in a group setting, maybe 10, 15 of us. And we're trying to find a place so we can do this local in the area. Gus is down near like Palm Beach area. So and then we want to do something, and then we're going to probably do something up here in this area up in Brevard County that we're at, to bring some health and healing to people up here as well, which would be awesome. And then help you guys with weight loss and understanding what's going on in your body with all these chemicals that they're trying to feed you and saying, oh, this is the miracle weight loss cure. It's not. It really is not. Okay.
not at all.
So,
Not at all. I mean, there's equipment such, biofeedback equipment such as the Cyto, which I have access to through a friend of mine who's a doctor of Oriental medicine, and it actually lays out the foods that you can eat that gives you energy, and the foods that you should not eat or eat as much, which actually take energy from you. So it really lays things out. It's powerful biofeedback. It is, I'm not going to tell you it's recognized by the government. A lot of things are not recognized, but it doesn't mean that they're any less effective. You be the judge of it by you take it, okay, this is giving me energy, and this thing that they said that it's not good for me is taking energy away from me, or is creating an allergic reaction, or is creating inflammatory processes. So the whole idea is to, nobody can guarantee that you're going to live one day longer, but the idea is, can you live that much more time in a better way? That's what it's about. Can you be that
quality.
much more functional for a longer period of time? And that's what we're looking, that's
Right,
what we're looking
we're looking for quality of life.
for. Mhm.
Quality of life is very important. I've seen it with my elder relatives and them taking 10, 12 medicines. I have a cousin of mine, also, cousins and family, and I try to tell them that there's a better way. And they've been taking medications for so long, they don't know any other way. So
They
it's
don't,
how to recondition it. Rachel says hi. Rachel's watching us. Hey, Rachel. Thanks for tuning in. And Tracy,
Rachel knows me well because she's my training partner from time to time. And she
exactly.
knows that I lift heavy to be able to keep my structure, to some degree,
Yep.
and she can tell you firsthand, what I do. And I'm doing things that most men in their 20s and 30s can't do. And, granted, I've got 50 years of training behind me, but it
Right.
doesn't matter. There's joints that hurt, there's things that, are not exactly the same, but you work through it anyway. Your mind's got to be stronger than your body, actually, believe it or not.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the mind is really, I learned how powerful your mind is by being ill. And I say that because I didn't understand how I knew my body's here, right? You know, you're physical, you got two legs, your arms, you know, you can move and you know how to do that, right? But when I had the stroke because I had depletion of oxygen, it damaged a part of my brain for a moment, right? All of a sudden now I'm like, leg move, it's not moving.
Right.
So I was like, this is really weird. Like took me a while to understand. Like there was a fogness, like I had a brain fog in the sense of why does my brain feel so scrambled?
Right.
But it healed. Everybody, my brain has healed. Okay, I mean, there's so many things that healed on me. I had when I wasn't taking care of myself before the stroke with the diabetes that was I wasn't taking care of myself, so it was uncontrolled. I had diabetes eyes, which means that the blood vessels in my eyes were getting swollen and inflamed, and if they burst, I can become blind. Okay.
Correct. I mean, these illnesses are can really hurt us. So we want to reverse them because I mean, hey, listen, you want to enjoy your kids, you want to enjoy your grandkids. You don't want to
Exactly.
sit there on a wheelchair and
No.
and, you know, no, that's not a life. So I'm not saying that you got to go and run everywhere and do this and that and the other thing, and that you can't be a couch potato, from time to time and just hang out, but you
Right.
also have to exercise your body and put it through some stress so that it can continue to respond and regenerate for you.
Exactly. And the comment I was saying about the eyes, just to let you know, my eyes have completely healed. Another eye exam, and they told me my eyes were perfect. I have no diabetic eyes, never, nothing. I'm perfect. Actually, my vision got a little better. I just got new glasses, and
Beautiful.
well, to see far, the reading, forget it. The over 40 syndrome, I call it.
Yeah, exactly.
So your body heals. It's a miracle body. Okay. So think about that. Don't let the doctors tell you, oh, you're not going to change. Yes, you do. My eyes healed. My body has healed. I have regained my strength in my left side. There's so many things that I've done over the years that I didn't even realize it, and
Right.
and all because I mentally made a decision that I my life was is worth more than I was. How do I say it? How I needed to love myself more and realize my life
Correct.
is so valuable. And I wanted to see my boys. I have two sons. I wanted to see them grow up. My fear was I'll never see my children again. When I was in the hospital, all I could think of was where are my sons? Where are my sons? Will I see them again? And it was the worst feeling I ever had in my life
Yeah.
to think that I would be gone and never and now to see them again. So I decided, you know what? I want to live. I want to live as long as I can. I want to be healthy on it. So I've been working for 7 years. I've been working. So guys, it doesn't take a month. It's not going to take a week. It's going to take time.
It takes
Okay.
time.
If
And
it
then
took
go ahead.
took you
Okay.
20 years to gain 100 pounds, guess what? It's going to take you time. It might not be 20 years, but it's going to take time.
Yeah, be patient with yourself, be good to yourself, and hey, listen, don't talk nasty to yourself when you look at yourself in the mirror, because that's again causing brain chemistry to drag you down. The minute that you
Ah,
say, you know what, I'll lose the weight and I'll gain it back, that's exactly what you've trained your subconscious mind, and that's what you do. Or I can't lose the weight, you lose a pound and you gain it back. It's just one of those things. If we condition ourselves to that, that's what we get. So that's where the 9 steps to a healthy mind comes in, to break all that negative, poisonous, conditions, and create, a forward step where you have a better shot at permanent, excess fat loss. Because what we want to lose is fat, not what some of these drugs do. That 3/4 of the weight comes from muscle and 1/4 comes from fat. That's a very, very negative thing,
yeah,
and we
it's a
don't
very
want to do.
negative thing. Yeah, it's a very
We
negative
don't
thing. I
want
didn't
to do.
get I didn't get to show that clip, but there was a clip that I found talking about Ozempic on Fox 2 from some other state, St. Louis or something, that talked about that. That talks about basically how you're losing the fat. I mean, losing the muscle. You're not losing the fat. You think you're
And
losing
that's
fat,
the
but what happened?
functional part of you. And you're not losing the dysfunctional part of you. You're actually losing the functional spot, because the muscles is what moves the bones, the tendons, the ligaments, everything. And you look at kids when they're little, they can bend down all the way and they play on the floor in a squatted position.
Well, no
When
problem.
we try to do that, it's not so easy anymore. But this is what we have to do to keep our flexibility, our hips, our knees, our ankles. Everything has to be flexible so that we can
Right.
move on.
Yeah,
And then
some people
scrutinize
are.
your doctor and scrutinize the information. If you go to your doctors and he's telling you all kinds of things, and you look better than him and he looks like who did it and when, get the hell out of there.
Okay. Oh, I gotta say this. So JC took his aunt to the doctor the other day, a new doctor up here, and that's exactly what happened. The doctor weighed like 300 pounds and starts giving crap to her. How come you're not taking your medicine? You need to take the medicine. Why are you not doing this? And JC's like, excuse me. Like he wanted to really say something. He's like, he's thinking to himself, how is this overweight doctor telling my aunt who looks better than him how to take care of her health?
No, well,
So
that's the terrible thing. That's the terrible thing. I look at somebody, okay, you're in your 60s, you're in your 50s, you're in your 70s, and you look good. There's something that you're doing that is better than some of the other people. It's just a fact. What is it that you're doing? I'd like to find out what it is and make sure that it's real, not somebody taking all kinds of chemicals. Because TRTs, testosterone replacement therapy, a lot of men are on that. But what does it do? Eventually you have to stay on those things, and you get your testicles look like the size of peas after a while, and that's not
that's not good.
that's not
That's
good.
not pleasant.
That is not good. You know. Uh, uh, so
But that's reality. That's
before
reality.
you know it, your testicles are by your Adam's apples, and that's not where they're supposed to be.
And then other things don't function because the medications cause men to
Exactly.
have the
So
dysfunction. So
this
guess
is
what?
not the life
Then you have
you
to
want
take
to live.
another pill. Then you got to take another pill for the
That's right.
dysfunction, which could cause your heart to hurt or whatever
Yeah.
like that. So now you're really screwed,
Yeah.
So it's a domino effect, everybody. It's a domino effect. Once you take one kind of medication, it causes you to become on another medication, and it screws up all the balance, everything in your body. So Gus's program is amazing. Please reach out to me. Let me know if you're interested. Tracy said she's interested. So anyway, it's very important for your own health and to help your family. Mothers, fathers out there, if you have little kids, it's something to learn yourself now, because that way, train your children. Tell your
Right.
children they can eat everything. When my kids were little, I made everything fresh vegetables. They had fresh fruit. I didn't baby food. I didn't buy baby food. It's sweet potato. You cook a sweet potato, you mash it up. That's it. There's
Right.
nothing else in there. You don't have to do no processed foods and stuff like that. Banana, squish a banana. It's so simple. I just don't understand why people do that. And my kids, they eat their fruits and vegetables. They used to fight over broccoli. I would have to make 2 heads of broccoli because my kids would fight over it, because they were taught they would try everything. If you don't like it, okay, we'll give you something else. But we try it. Make sure you try it. Never say you don't like something unless you try it. And there's a lot of adults out there like that don't eat vegetables and they don't eat anything healthy. Um, I have a couple of, let me see if I have I have my link here. Some couple of products that I use. Cachava is very, very good. It's a plant-based protein that I use. I've been using it for a while. It has all the fruits and vegetables in there. So if you guys have a hard time in the beginning, you can always get something to supplement you, right? Something, this I put it with coconut milk, and I just put it in the blender and I'm good to go. And it's satisfying. It tastes good. There's a good taste to it, right? You can put some blueberries, strawberries, any kind of berries in there. You make a nice little smoothie. And usually I would have that in the morning, like later on my first like meal, I would have that. And I started just training my body that, okay, this is what I have in the morning. I didn't put the other links. I've also been drinking the mushroom coffee.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff that you could have to replace some of the stuff that is, poisonous to your body, that is venom.
Exactly.
I mean, there is stuff out there. It's not easy because most of the stuff is not good for us. Anything that they show you on the television is rarely any good. I would say 98, 99% of it is
Right.
healthy.
You
And,
yeah, you see the stuff like on the internet. The every dose. I have a link for that. If you go to everydose.com/Alita Hernandez, you'll get to my page. And it is mushroom, has the lion's mane, it has a little bit of caffeine, it has a little bit of coffee, but it's different. The biggest thing for me is it's helped me with the brain, the fog. The brain fog is really helping me. Like it's really focusing me. I can get focused. I'm not jittery, and it's just helping me a little bit clear out. And it helps your gut too. So we didn't talk about the gut, but the gut is another whole
oh,
thing.
absolutely, it's a second brain.
That's your
So,
second brain, and your intestines, I heard, is your third brain. So if your head hurts, usually your stomach is aching, and then your stomach hurts, your intestines cramping, and then you're like, ah, like it's
right.
all connected. So a lot of people,
It was all connected because I mean, when I was working in rehab for drug rehab, using the 9 steps to a healthy mind, I'm saying I'm doing this, but here they're serving them this, that, and they got donuts and they got this and they got that. So you're creating inflammatory processes to people that have monsters inside of them that are looking to basically sabotage them, and they relapse. So that this is
mm,
what's wrong with our society. We have to clean things out while we're still giving them what they need, nourishment for their bodies, so we can nourish their heads and we can make them comfortable in their own skin, and not have the monster within come out and help and
right.
get them to relapse.
Because there's a
So
lot
yeah.
of trauma. I mean, I haven't talked about it, but I'll do mention. Uh, I'm back in the 80s. I was really, had a bout in the late 80s with cocaine, and it's a horrible, horrible thing to get dependent on a drug. I was young. I was like 24 years old, but I went down to 85 pounds.
Wow.
I was 85 pounds. I looked like a walking skeleton, and I had a lot of hair. So all you saw was hair and you know so I'm very thankful to God and to the strength within to be able to get out of that, because by that time I did cold turkey. I walked into a church on Hollywood Boulevard in California, and I just said, I'm done. I can't take it anymore. I have to change my life. I felt so sick and disgusting, and now I've learned over the years that all of that, sorry, my dogs are going crazy right now. I guess somebody's at the door. You talk, Gus. I can't talk.
Okay. The thing is this. We do have to reprogram ourselves, and we do have to be comfortable in our own skin if we are going to make the necessary changes and mature as human beings. I mean, we do have to embrace spirituality and not become a victim and tormented by different things. There's always things happening, but what you actually do about it at that moment in time is the difference between you having inner peace and not, and causing havoc on your body. It's like somebody does something to you. Why are you going to drink the poison? Because you drink the poison, they're not dying. You're the one that's dying. You're taking in that venom. So taking things personal doesn't do you any good. That's their problem, not yours. That's the way I see it. Okay. So it's directed towards me, but what's going on with you? Because I'm not going to care what you think about me. What you think about me is none of my business. What I think about myself is all of my business. So we have to change, our mind. We can't let, an animal brain, okay, control us. This is what we do as human beings. We overanalyze things, and we allow these things to control us. We let our minds control us. And our mind is here at one moment, and then it's over here at another moment. But what is the difference? In one moment, you're doing really well, okay? So, and then another moment, you're not doing so well. What does that mean? That the mind is going to drag you any which way? Well, I don't care for that, and I don't think anybody should. That's why we have to be in control of ourselves without controlling other people and without being controlled by other people. That's, how we get some peace and how we can create direction for ourselves.
My dog has been barking the whole time. Oh,
Oh,
Amanda's there.
okay, okay.
So yeah, somebody was at the door, I guess. But no, it's so true. So there again, the mind is very powerful. These nine steps for a healthy mind is going to improve your way of thinking, a way of handling these situations that trigger you to eat or to not take care of yourself, not to take care of yourself. Because the bottom line is we only have one of us, one body, one life, as you know, physically right now. So we need to take care of that. This body is sacred. It's just
Right.
sacred. That's the only one we have. We have to be able to function normally, walk, move around, and so on. And and some of this too, your program would help anybody really, right? Because um,
Absolutely. It's not just for weight loss, it's depression, anxiety, all kinds of stress. We get into conditions that our mind is taking us places that really shouldn't go. I mean, it's not like we're in Ethiopia and we didn't have a meal for 8 or 9 days. I mean, I've seen the Venezuelans in Colombia. I was in Colombia. I see these people starving to death. I see them on the homeless on the street there, covered up. You don't know if they're dead or alive. I've seen people, that are having a job and they're still having to eat from the garbage. I mean, that's a little bit of stress because whether you could pay your rent or you either pay for your rent or you pay for food and you have to choose. I mean, these are the things, these are stressful things. But if you made it to the refrigerator 10 times in a day, hey, listen, that can't be that stressful. And we can't, we can't take ourselves so seriously when we know that there's billions of people out there that are living way worse than we are. I mean, to
yeah.
cut into this just a little bit, Venezuela is a country that I've been to many times, okay? Right now, socialism is created equality. 96% of their population is dirt poor. Yet
Wow.
79% of them don't eat on a regular basis.
Oh, that's
That's why
horrible.
they've lost, on average, in the last 6 years, they're about almost 25 pounds lighter in the entire population. And yet, these people are standing underneath each one of them $1 million worth of oil for every person in Venezuela.
Oh my gosh.
So, I mean, talk about the horrors. And this is just in this continent. Then I've been to the Dominican Republic.
Oh yeah, it's another
We
one.
were pushed, the Haitians were all pushed into the Dominican Republic. Why? Because over 80% of the Haitians are poor and only 20% of the Dominican Republics are poor. So now you have 2 million more Haitians in the Dominican Republic, and now, that's created a mess. So creating equality at the lowest levels is not the way to go. And then, of course, hey, listen, they're in a lot worse shape than we are. So if we can't have inner peace in America, you know,
Exactly.
we're not looking for the next meal, to
Exactly.
see if we can have one. So
We
that's stress. That to me would be stress.
Well, Gus, I want to thank you so much. All this good, great information we gave everybody out there. I think
Yes.
people learned some things about medication versus doing some things holistically and the things that we can do ourselves through your help with the 9 steps to a healthy mind to reprogram our brains from all the stuff that we've learned from children and how our parents said, oh, you can't get up to your food or whatever it is. I've heard that so many times,
Right.
forcing children to eat food to the point that they throw up because you can't force a child like I'm full already, I can't eat anymore. Oh no, you got to eat all of it.
Right.
And different things that condition, or if there's
Sure.
a trauma or people might have association food to some kind of trauma. You know what I mean? Like there's all these different reasons why will people go to it. And again, we talked about how the food has it can become an addiction, like a drug,
Oh, absolutely.
and that becomes
Absolutely.
your oh,
And
I don't feel good.
yeah, condition your kids from day one, you know? Don't bring in the bad, get rid of the bad habits that we learned from our parents and just bring in the good. I mean,
Yeah,
one of the things that I did is I used to get down on my knees when my kids were little, and I would speak to them soul to soul, eye to eye, because the eyes are the windows of the soul, like two souls together. Not, I'm your father. You got to do everything I told you because I told you so. None of that went on, and my kids are very adjusted. And one of my kids, as a matter of fact, has the five elements really in balance and calibrates at 600 in the map of consciousness, so the kids can thrive. And all three of them are actually thriving. Though I'm a divorced parent who had raised three kids through bankruptcy, okay, which made me, at the lower level of a single mother, of a poor single mother. Yet that can all be done. And they can thrive better than somebody that, that their parents are still together. And
exactly.
so,
I mean, I divorced the father of my kids, and we kept a good relationship in the sense that we agreed that everything for the children we would deal with together, under 18.
right.
And that helped. My kids are well. They both have good jobs, and they don't have any emotional or any traumas that way. So, but anyway, Gus, I appreciate you today, and we will, I have Gus on here. I've had him on a couple of times. Please go back and see my other videos. You can go onto YouTube and go to Rebooted Mindset 555, and you can see the replays of the videos, and you can go check out and look for his name. You can find all the other videos. We've talked about this before. Please take advantage of it and get back to me and let me know if you want to get in that's okay, Gus. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta go.
Thanks.
Okay. Thank
Bye.
you.
So anyway, Gus was a great inspiration. I hope you liked all the information I gave you, and please reach out to me. My number's on the screen, and I gave you my email, info@rebootedthepodcast.com. And be well. Just be well and get healthy. And if you don't know, tomorrow's Wednesday. I have Spanglish Music Cafe. And on Thursday, we got Freestyle Showcase podcast. So check out our interviews coming up Wednesday and Thursday. And have a great week. Love you, everybody. Again, Alita Hernandez, Rebooted Mindset. Soon, Alita Rebooted. Remember, Alita Rebooted. I think it sounds better, don't you think? I think so too. So I appreciate you today, and see you next week. Bye.